Okay, the sci-fi original movie, Larva. Any movie that has cow tipping, the occasional anti-corporate rants. I was actually waiting for a rant against like genetically modified food. Essentially, what you have is you have a company called Tender Meats, who essentially owns a town. Now, not that long ago, some companies, if your main export and your main thing of making money was, let's say, cattle ranching, you might find a company that actually would, provide feed at a low cost, and in return, you would sell your cattle to, essentially, to them at a reduced price as well. That is what this town is, the town of Host. Yes, a movie called Larva has a town called Host. Something's wrong with the cattle. There's a parasitologist who, of course, goes and gets a sample of cow poop, fresh from the source, notices some bizarre-looking parasites in it. Over time, let's say a couple of days, for the first time these things are noticed, they begin to mutate. And of course they're also in the meat. So they have a huge cookout. I guess the process of cooking the meat probably wasn't high temperature to actually destroy the parasites. Humans also being infected by the parasites. So beyond the occasional cow like exploding what looks like a bat mixed with a garbage bag, because it can't fly. So it kind of like scurries across the ground. It begins also to infect humans. There's like two really decent human deaths. The first is the very first time the parasite actually, breaks free from a human. It's done actually remotely well. Blood's pouring from his eyes. It's actually done fairly decently. A lot of the other ones, it just seems just like, what's going on? Oh, the stomach's moving. Explosion of blood, a weird black thing flies out, catches onto somebody, and then begins to kill them as well. And of course, the corporation does what all evil corporations would do. Tries to cover up, which then leads to your second satisfying death. Anyone who's ever seen a movie where the corporation is evil, you all know that the head of said evil corporation, after trying to do if I can escape with my life, I'll do that, he gets his just desserts. It's satisfying, but it's not gory, it's not what it should have been, it's just satisfying. But it's not as good as the first one. Now, how do they kill all these parasites? They have a truck full of fertilizer, and they open the back up to spray fertilizer down the road, which of course leads to somebody running and slipping in the fertilizer. It happens real fast, but it's actually kind of humorous. They then lower them all back to the sewer. They then blow up the sewer plant. In a lot of ways, this movie actually really represents that. It's drizzly crap, i.e. the fertilizer truck driving to the center of Host. And at the end, it is an explosion of crap. Is it satisfying? No. This is... When the movie tries to push a real heavy, anti-corporate, know where your food comes from sort of rant, throw in some better acting. Don't take all these cliche moments. Oh no, we're gonna have sex in your car now. Uh-huh. I'm now in my underwear. Alright. Oh no, the weird, constantly mutating, constantly evolving organism just exploded from me right as we're about ready to have sex. It's a 2-hour long movie because it's on SyFy, so there's commercials. You could probably watch this in about half an hour. Because you have stock scenes like, I'm gonna call a town hall meeting. I run for the big corporation. We've done all great things for you guys. You guys are gonna show up, and I'll believe him. What about us? We built this city. For all the evidence, we're in this together. If I go down, you go down with me. All was missing was, the corporation leader to be just all in black with a black hat and a long twitty mustache. And of course, Rachel Hunter is in it as a lawyer. But she doesn't really say anything that really is remotely lawyerish. I mean, she kind of shows up. And it's kind of like, oh great, the lawyers are here. Oh great, my lawyer's here. But it kind of feels like if you'd have removed that part, it wouldn't have affected the movie that much. You just wouldn't have had Rachel Hunter in it. Didn't add much to the movie. So, if you want to see a poorly acted, bad special effects movie that's anti-corporate, hey, you know what? Larva's right up your alley. If you want to see a decent movie where, it's parasites attacking people, and it's got better acting, it's good? Bug.